All right, we are back. Hello, and welcome back to Clubhouse Conversations. My name is Brian Penny. I am the owner and editor of Clubhouse Conversations on Substack, on Reddit, on YouTube, several other places. What we're doing today, the Clubhouse has announced their inaugural class, it's their second class of Clubhouse creators that they expect to carry them on their backs for the rest of the year. These people each are getting $5,000 per month for 3 months. They had $1,000 to prepare for a pilot, along with 51 other people technically, but there's a total about 400 people that were involved in everything. And these people all had to sign like a lottery contract essentially. And this is what we have. So I'm going through each one of them to basically review them for anybody who's on Clubhouse, off Clubhouse, to understand who the people are and what they do. And I reviewed them in the moment on my blog in real time while they were in the room. I emailed them all out. I beat Clubhouse's staff to any kind of promotion because they're just horrific. And now we are going to each individual creator. Today, we're talking about Lavender OnDemand and her jury duty. So there were 3 total fake comedy court things that all had the same premise, that they were going to resolve real-life problems using a jury of a panelist of comedians and a judge and all that. 2 of them were selected. 1 of them was not. The one that was not, it was called Hash It Out from Jessica Drew. It was awful. They used amateurs. They were reading the script. It was terrible. The other one, Comedy Court from Corey B. Sherrill, I did the video review on yesterday. It was a great cast. There was a lot of good stuff going on. What he messed up on was that he had like 3 rows of all of his people, basically, that all wanted to be there, like his manager and PR people, all these kind of people that wanted to be there for clout, that ruined the Clubhouse atmosphere. You couldn't see, the judge was not where they were supposed to be. And they went through some crimes. They went through actual crime, but they just took like generic, like, crime, basically, of like, oh man, someone popped my tire, there was a crackhead, and somebody shot this, and it just was generic crime. They weren't going after like the actual, like the real hard-hitting news of the crime, that things that were doing that. So jury duty fixed both of these things. Lavender did a great job. She, as you can see on here, she was the top left mod. She knew exactly what was going on. She was the judge. She was the one who took control of everything. Also, when you go through here, you see where they all did the same things. They have the PTR art. Comedy Court did that too. None of those PT artists got paid, from my understanding. If Clubhouse doesn't respect them 100% for sure. They train everybody else not to respect them. So, this was all done by a graphic designer who probably did not get paid. But the people that are on stage, they're all great. They're part of the Green Butthole. It's WHOLE, like whole butt. And that's the descriptions, what people call the little green asterisk. It's a generic green asterisk or white asterisk on a green circle that Paul used for his moderation for his app. And it's all clip art. Everything on Clubhouse is clip art, except for this stuff. This is real graphic design here that's not even being paid for. And so what Lavender did with jury duty and the Green Butthole, what they did, you can see here where they put everything on here. One of the people they discussed was Monica Lewinsky. And it seems like it's a long time ago, but Monica Lewinsky is still today relevant because, if you look her up, everybody, if you go Google her, Bill Clinton is the association that you're going to see with Monica Lewinsky. And that all happened when she was an intern. And she's come back. She's on Twitter. She's one of the funnier people on Twitter. She's got a really good sense of humor about herself and all these kind of things. And she's wicked smart. And so she basically... They're using her example as one of the things that people are going to kind of debate. So Comedy Court, by the time it got to the jury just didn't care because none of this stuff had any kind of stakes. But on this one, when they go through it, they're inviting the audience. They've got the jury and everything in there to say like, well, what do you think about this one way or another? The example I use in here too, because I had spoken with Stormy Daniels on Clubhouse. You can find the video of that on my YouTube channel. And basically, she was explaining, I asked her kind of the same question of like, how do you get over it? Because the difference between Stormy Daniels and Monica Lewinsky is Monica Lewinsky was an intern at the beginning of her career when all this stuff happened. Stormy Daniels was already an experienced veteran in the adult industry. She's run several businesses. She's a successful, well-known entrepreneur and actress and director and all these things. And her entire career was just overshadowed by Trump. And both of these women have been destroyed. And I mean, that is an issue, that these two women have been just used as weapons against these men in power, and the men in power are fine. You can Google Bill Clinton and Donald Trump, and they're fine. You will not see Lewinsky or Stormy Daniels mentioned at all, and probably the first 20 pages. And these women's lives have been destroyed. They were destroyed by the media and politics and all this. They were just victims, and they were used, and they were victimized by all of us, honestly. And that is a huge issue. That's more than just somebody slashing your tires or like shooting somebody. That's a deep-rooted issue that just proves the systemic sexism that goes on with the patriarchy. And I mean, that was a fantastic way of. This was just one of the things that they did. They did like 3 different cases. So what Corey did was he put a different judge for each one of them, and each of the judges didn't really know how to run their own courtroom because they weren't in their own courtroom; they were in his. Then they had all these people just making up these stories, and then the jury just didn't care. This one, they went through this hard-hitting stuff. They also went through Derek Jackson's infidelity. So like it was another thing of this guy is supposed to be a relationship guru. He's an influencer. He's one of these people that everyone's looking up to, and he's not even like he's not a relationship guru. He's fake. He's cheating on his wife. He's it's ridiculous. These are actual issues. These are legit social issues that affect everybody. Everybody knows somebody like that if they're not one of those people that it's involved in one of those things. That happens. I mean, it's not just Monica Lewinsky and Derek Jackson's wife that gets screwed over in these ways. And this was a great example of Lavender being able to use art to tackle social justice issues. And I mean, it was not what I wanted, which was for them. I mean, it was not what was promised from all 3 of these, which was for them to take on like real people with real problems. But I mean, they did in a way. They did it. Of all of the court things, this was the best one that did it. Even though they didn't have Monica Lewinsky there, they were able to speak to Monica Lewinsky's issues because they were public issues that everybody knew and everybody could still understand over the course of. I mean, we have over 25 years that we can see like what happened to her life since she was an intern and in her entire career. Like she, as a human being, her entire life is just the role modeling that, unfortunately. And I mean, great for Lavender for doing it. Great for them for getting a great cast. Everybody on this stage, follow them. They're fantastic people. If you're going to be on Clubhouse, at least be around good people. I can tell you now, I was in the Green Butthole a lot before any of this happened. And like people like Cody, they know who Cody is. Cody has had issues in Clubhouse because he has a speech impediment, and people think that he's trolling, and he's not. That's just Cody. That's who he is. And that Green Butthole is the one inclusive place that Cody can go, that he can actually like be listened to, be treated like a human being, be talked to like a human being, like the adult that he is. Like everywhere else in Clubhouse, he just gets treated like crap, like garbage. But they have legitimately like brought him in and included him in their roasting marshmallows little roast that they've done. They include him on every. I've been in there late at night, and they're so cool. They're great people. They're the type of people that you should be hanging out with. But I mean, very few people are. They don't have the large rooms that they should, because Clubhouse is just a toxic place, and it's a cult. And I mean, they're not going to get you anywhere in the cult. So, I mean, great people, great show, bad platform. This is Brian Benny, Clubhouse Conversation.